Rockeyez would like to welcome Harry Hess, Harem Scarem. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
How you doing? I'm doing well, thanks.
Great. Tell me a little bit. Well, last year you released Living in Yesterday, and I've been reading some of the reviews, and it did very, very well, like 4.5 out of 5 stars, and so on. How much of a difference in the writing you did for that solo CD compared to when you worked with Harem Scarem?
Well, you know what, that particular record was kind of a combination of a bunch of co-writes that I did literally all around the world. I was, I'm signed as a writer to Universal, so I literally went around. I started in Sweden, then I went to the Netherlands. I was doing a lot of work in Europe, and then I did a couple writing trips in Nashville. And so basically, and I wasn't even specifically writing these songs for myself. I was just getting together with writers and sometimes even writing with other artists. And so basically when I hit about 10 or 11 songs that I liked, and I thought, well, I think I'm going to record these songs because I think they would make great rock songs. So, sometimes I'm writing things for completely different genres, but I know the song will translate into a rock song or something like that. And in situations like that, I like the idea of recording them for myself to even document them as a point in my life where I was, writing this song. So that's basically how that solo record came about. But when you compare that to Harem Scarem, I mean, when Pete, our guitar player, plays the way he does, and I work with him, it has a definite sound to it and a definite style where, for better or for worse, you can't get away from it. And so we kind of embrace what we do together and make the best of it. And but there's definitely a difference in the output, even though the mindset might be the same.
Right. Now, when you decided to get back to together with Harem Scarem, really, what was your decision in coming back?
Well, there was never really any personal issues, and Pete and I, we do the writing in the band, and, we kept working together literally the day after we said, all right, we're done with Harem Scarem, because we do a lot of studio work together, and we just decided that we didn't feel motivated to write another Harem Scarem record, and that was really it. Other than that, it was business as usual, and we kept working and, making records together. So, in this case, really what it was the 20th year anniversary of a release called Mood Swings. It was our second record, but it was a record that kind of broke us internationally and got us out there in Europe and in Asia. And, we just wanted to do something special for it, but Warner owned that record, so we decided that we were going to re-record it again, because we spend our lives in the studio now anyway. We're studio musicians, and we thought, well, we put in a lot of time on other people's records, why not to re-record our own so we can own it, and then we can re-release it as this 20th year anniversary and go out and tour and just make it kind of just a special anniversary for the whole thing. And that's basically what was the the spark to get us all back in a room together and focused on Harem Scarem.
Right. Cool. Now, this reunion, or whatever you want to call it, is this going to be a long-term thing, or is it just for a short term?
Well, basically all we've discussed is going out and touring the Mood Swings re-release, which I guess it came out about a month ago now, and we're in Chicago this weekend, and then Japan the next weekend, and then, off to Europe for literally 10, 12 countries. And so, that's all we really planned on doing. But, like I said, there's no personal issues, so I'm sure that, if Pete and I decide that we want to sit down and do some more writing, by the time we finish, the tour, I'm sure we'll have a better handle on, what our plans are and what we want to do. But right now, we just haven't planned beyond the touring, which will take us to the end of this year. But, I'd like to sit down, try and write another record. It's just, it's so much work, and that's why, we kind of packed it in the last time and said to ourselves, okay, we've kind of tread this ground before. Do we want to do this again? And the answer at that point was no, let's not. And but we've kind of been reinvigorated with this release and just the support, and people seem to care about what we're doing, which inspires you to keep going and do more. So I'm sure at some point we'll have this discussion and figure it out.
Cool, cool. Now, this weekend, is this the first time you're playing in the United States?
We've played border gigs before, like we were in Toronto, we've done Buffalo, and we've done, some stuff while we were on the road where we would just like cross over into the States and stuff like that for a date here and there. But that's really it. We've never done like a U.S. tour or anything like that. It's because we were never officially released in America, which is very odd, but we never were. And so we didn't build up, a following that we could kind of use as a support base to go tour. So, it's a bit of a vicious circle. If you don't get that thing going on early, then, promoters don't want to take a chance on you because they don't think you have a fan base. But, we talk to people all the time in the States, and now with the Internet and all that's opened up, and there really are no borders, and we hear from lots of people in the States that have been fans since day one. But to make a very long story short, the Chicago gig is one of a handful that we've ever done in our whole career, which has been over 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. We're pretty pumped about it.
Cool, cool. Now, what's your feelings about, like, iTunes and stuff like that? A lot of people ain't releasing, like, full CDs anymore. They're just releasing singles, just, because a lot of fans just want, like, individual songs. So what's your feelings about that?
You know what? I don't mind it, because working on other people's records, I even tell them, I say, you know what? If they don't like song 1, they're not going to like song 11,
Right.
So I don't really care too much about song 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12, because I find a lot of times, even, speaking from my own personal experience, you can't write 12 hits and expect that they're all going to be as good as each other. There's always going to be something that kind of jumps out that's going to become your favorite. Whether you're a fan of a band, everybody has their favorite songs on a record, and not that those other songs shouldn't be heard. I think they can be and made available, but I kind of like the idea from an artistic perspective of focusing on your strongest ideas and getting them out there and kind of letting those songs be the forerunner. It's back to the days of singles, really. Like bands used to do that all the time. They'd cut a single, put it out on the radio, and they'd see what would happen. So, I'm not opposed to it in that way. There's many things about the Internet that have kind of destroyed what the music industry was for us, growing up at a certain time and relying on, the music business in a certain way. That's all kind of crumbled. But at the same time, a lot of really cool new things have come up as well, and I'd probably put that into one of the categories as well. It's like, what you were saying, are you going to put out a new record? Pete and I have already talked about, like, what if we just did a digi bundle and like threw out like an EP or even a 3 to 5 song digital bundle, and we put it up on iTunes. We that way we keep doing what we're doing. We like to do it, but we're not kind of, stuck in the battle of making a record from beginning to end, which, by the time you add up the writing and the recording and by the time it comes out, you're looking at a 6 to 8 month turnaround from when you start it to when it actually comes out. And I've been doing singles with other artists where they'll call me and they just want to go after radio and they want to do a song. And so as a producer, I deal with this a lot where I'm writing and recording with bands that literally we finish a song on a Sunday and it's up on iTunes on Monday. And that's really cool, and it's very immediate, and people kind of, the excitement keeps going with what you're doing. So I could envision us, putting out songs maybe even once every couple of months. I think that'd be cool.
Cool. Now, this weekend's a big weekend for a lot of people, and my site and my staff will be there too at Melodic Rock Fest 3. What can fans expect?
Well, we're going to play our Mood Swings record and a few other, early tracks, and then a couple other key songs from some other records that we did. And we're basically, we're going out there and we're going to deliver what people expect. We're going to go out and play our songs, and I can't wait to hang out with people and and see the fans. It's kind of, where, one of the few occasions where we get to kind of hang out for a couple of days. Because when you're doing your own show, it's one thing, and you get obviously the diehard fans that are there to see you. But I think what's really cool is also hanging out with the other guys in the other bands, and especially in this genre, it is a little bit of a small world. And so, over the years, I've kind of known or chatted with a few people either on the phone or online, and it's cool to see those people every once in a while, and this is a good opportunity for that.
Cool. Now, how was the approach when Andrew came and asked you guys to play?
Well, we were actually slated to play his last one, right, and we had some immigration issues, and and that didn't work out, and so it's all in place this time, or so we've been told, and we have our little pieces of paper in hand. But no, Andrew's always been a big supporter of the band, and ever since he started the site, I've been doing interviews with him and kept him in the loop with what we're doing, because he seemed to be genuinely interested in, keeping this style of music alive, and always was a big fan of ours and helped us out, tremendously by getting the word out. I know we have a lot of fans because of the work that he's done and the effort he's put into promoting us and bands like us. So, we didn't hesitate at all the minute he said he wanted us to come over again and get it going on. So, this is going to be a highlight for us, for sure.
Cool. Now, what's the feeling like when a fan comes up to you and asks for an autograph?
It's cool, like back in the day, it was probably more surprising back then, and now it almost feels like the people, because, we've literally been doing this for like 20-something years, so, the fans that have been coming out since the beginning, you run into them again, and you keep seeing these people, and even if you have like a few-minute conversations with them, but you do that a bunch of times over 20 years, you actually feel like these people to a certain extent, so, it's almost like, you're meeting up with old friends again, and you're there for that specific reason to go play these songs, and, we're there for the music, but as well, you're kind of there to hang out with friends as well. So I'd say a lot of the fans have become that to us. Cool.
Is there ever a time where it's not good to approach you?
Not really, but like everything else, you never know what the circumstances. We're like everyone else. We're getting pissy moods, and even if we're even fighting amongst ourselves or whatever. I remember, like coming off a bullet train in Japan or something like that, and people snapping pictures, and I was just in a pissy mood, and just woke up, and I was just like, fuck. I didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't want to deal with, but it happens all the time, and for the most part, when you're going to do these things, and what's expected, and people are going to be there, and you don't put yourself in those situations. If you're feeling that way, well, don't come up, don't come out of your hotel room, or don't come off the bus or whatever. So I can honestly say, I've never really had a weird or bad experience, and a couple of times been eating, and they just won't go away.
Right. I know
just kind of sitting there eating and go, all right, bye. Can we take a picture? Sure. And then they start chatting, talking about a record, and it's like, yeah, cool, yeah, and just won't end, So, but other than that, it's all fine. At the same time, where you might say, yeah, it's a little bit over the top, but you know why they're there, and at the heart of it, they're there because they like what you do, and they're a fan. It's really hard to get upset, right. That people want to talk to you, and that they like you that much that they want to stick around and make it go a little bit longer than is maybe maybe necessary. Right. But it's hard to feel bad about that or have that come off as a negative thing. At least for me, I'm grateful that people give a shit about what we do.
Cool. Is there anything coming up you'd like to talk about?
It starts this weekend, and then we're in Japan the next weekend. We come back for a few days. We're off to Europe, and it's pretty extensive what we're doing in Europe. So we're going to hit like 10 countries, and it's going to be crazy, and takes us to the end of the year. So just kind of let people know to keep an eye out for us. We'll definitely be traveling around the next few months, and hopefully we'll come out their way.
Cool. Well, Harry, I appreciate you giving me a call today. Would you like to say anything to the fans in conclusion? I'm going to try to get this up before the show. This way they get to hear what you got to say.
Oh, cool. Well, like typically, I mean, I just want to thank everybody always for supporting us. As the years go on, it's always stunning to me how many people will hang in with us, and for all the left turns we take. And just want to say thanks to everyone. And if they get a chance to come out and see us, definitely come up, say hi. Love to chat, and we'll hopefully put on a good show for them.
Cool. See you at the show, man.
Great. All right. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.